A very good afternoon, guys. I know it has been a long, tiring day, but we'll start with our topic. As you all know, you all were asking for this topic. It is transient elastography, the principal, measurement, application, and pitfalls. You all know we are having this facility at our institution. Now, for basic use of transient elastography is knowing the non-invasive, in a non-invasive manner, knowing the amount of fibrosis in liver. It may be related to any disease. Maybe it may be because of hepatitis B, C, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NASH. So it basically measures the stiffness of liver. Now let's go through this topic. So hepatic fibrosis is basically the accumulation of fibrillar extracellular matrix components. Almost all causes of chronic liver injury lead to hepatic fibrosis, which is obvious. This process may ultimately lead to cirrhosis, which is complications like portal hypertension, hepatocellular carcinoma, and liver failure eventually. Now, what is transient elastography? It basically fills the gap that exists. In this, the patient does not need to go for a liver biopsy every time he has some liver problem. He can go with this non-invasive modality. Now, it is a novel non-invasive method. It assesses the hepatic fibrosis by measuring the liver stiffness. It is rapid and easy to perform. It is portable. It is a small machine, as you all must be seeing, and it does not need expertise to perform or analyze the results. Now, how it is done? In this, the patient is asked to come fasting for that day. Patient is asked to lie down supine with his arm in maximum abduction, that is overhead. Now, operator locates the area of liver by ultrasound, at least 6 cm thick and free of any vascular structures, and then presses the probe button. The basic principle behind transient elastography is that the transducer that is in that probe, it produces vibrations of 1 mm amplitude and 50 Hz frequency. It produces an elastic shear wave which propagates through the hepatic tissue. So basically it is a sound wave that is stretching this tissue to know the elasticity of this tissue, and it will give the amount of stiffness in this tissue. Meanwhile, probe emits ultrasound which used to follow the propagated shear wave. Now, pulse echo ultrasound acquisition are analyzed to measure shear wave velocity that directly relates to tissue stiffness. Now, every pulse that is given, it is analyzed further. Now, how much area of liver we will be able to assess by a transient elastography? So it basically, obviously it can't measure the whole liver stiffness. It will just do it for a segment of liver. Now, that segment of liver is basically a volume of a cylinder that is 1 cm wide and 4 cm long, as you can see there. Now, lying 25 to 65 mm below the skin surface, that is 2.5 to 6.5 centimeters below the skin surface, there is a cylinder that is 1 by 4 centimeter long. The volume of at least 100 times larger than the liver biopsy. Now, a liver biopsy is much smaller. It is a small piece that you take. Now, the measurements, usually the median of 10 successful measurements taken, and the results are expressed in kilopascals. Now, that shear wave is given, that pulse is given 10 times as you place the probe, and the machine will read the average or the readings with minimal falsies. Now, success determined by software is because of the quality of vibration given by the vibrator and the quality of strain range image used to estimate the stiffness. Now, age, body metabolic index, and biopsy quality did not have any significant effect on area under the curve, and it is an excellent diagnostic tool for diagnosing cirrhosis, and however for the diagnosis of significant fibrosis is not so accurate. This is to be noted. Now, what it is then used for? It is basically used for monitoring of certain disease progression, like a patient is having hepatitis B. Now, that is a chronic disease which he will be carrying for his whole life almost. Now, for him it is important to monitor the amount of fibrosis that exists. Also, there are several other diseases like fatty liver. Now, this investigation, basically transient elastography, is used for 1, monitoring the certain disease progression, secondly to screen for complications. Now, there have been several studies in which people have correlated this stiffness of liver with presence of esophageal varices. and several other things, even the pressure of the HPPG pressure. Similarly, complications, that is child staging, the presence of esophageal varices, the history of ascites, all these have been history of variceal bleeding, they all have been correlated with the values of transient elastography in several studies. Also, transient elastography is used for screening of portal hypertension. A strong relationship exists between liver stiffness measure and HPPG, that is hepatic vein pressure gradient. So basically the amount of portal hypertension and the stiffness of liver is closely correlated, and hence this investigation which measures basically the stiffness is useful for measuring the amount of portal hypertension. However, linear regression analysis was not optimal for HPPG's values more than 10 mmHg. So till 10 mmHg it is quite correlating, more than that there is some amount of problem. Also, esophageal varices, grading versus liver stiffness measurement was correlated to the grade of esophageal varices, as I just discussed. The liver stiffness measurement value less than 19 kilopascals was highly predictive of absence of esophageal varices grade 2 less than equal to 2. So value less than 19 would predict that the patient will have varices that is less than grade 2, that is at least significant varices, say we can differentiate it. Now, comparing transient elastography with other modalities of imaging like MR elastography. Now, MR elastography measures the viscoelastic properties of the tissue. It assesses much larger liver volume. It analyzes in 3 dimensions with a displacement vector. The applicability to patients who are obese and ascites is more in these patients. So these 4 are basically the points in favor of MR elastography, which is considered slightly better than a transient elastography. But the points in favor of transient elastography is that the machine is portable, the investigation is cheap, and it can be frequently repeated in patients who require it. Liver biopsy, which was traditionally considered the gold standard and is also presently also the gold standard obviously, is used for the diagnosis and for establishing the disease severity, and also for staging of hepatic fibrosis. Liver biopsy is unfortunately invasive and painful, and there is a poor patient acceptance. Now, if you tell a patient that you have a fatty liver and you need to get a needle into your liver for a biopsy, asymptomatic patient might not agree for it. Now, there is a substantial risk of life-threatening complications in liver biopsy. A patient might bleed, and also the accuracy of liver biopsy has been questioned, basically because of sampling errors and also because of the variability in which a different pathologist would view the slide. A sampling error, that is a needle biopsy, only removes 1 by 50,000 of the total organ. That is a very small segment of piece we take in a liver biopsy. And also the autopsy and laparoscopic studies have demonstrated that cirrhosis is missed on a single liver biopsy in between 10 to 30% of the patients. The recent study suggests that laparoscopic liver biopsy of both lobes observed that cirrhosis was noted in one side but not the other in 14%. Now, that is odd, right? And 1/3 of the patients, a difference of at least one fibrosis stage was there in between lobes. So these are basically fallacies of having a liver biopsy done, but all said and done, it is still the gold standard. Now, the limitations of transient elastography needs to be discussed. In an obese patient having narrow intercostal spaces and ascites, it will give you a wrong value. Also, failure to obtain liver stiffness is there in patients up to 2.5 to around 9.5% of the patients. And in a prospective study of 2000 patients, their failure rate was around 4.5%. In a BMI more than 28 was only factor associated with failure. That is in an obese patient, which most of our fatty liver patients might be. The value of this report may vary. A thoracic fat belt more limiting factor than a BMI per se. Okay. Now, the influence of inflammation, that is a dynamic profile of serum transaminases and liver stiffness was compared within a 6 months follow-up. Now, a patient having very high transaminases, in those also the value of transient elastography, that is a FibroScan, by the trade name it comes by the name of FibroScan, varies. Now, liver stiffness increases 1.3 to 3 folds at the time of ALT flare and it declines progressively thereafter. Liver stiffness profiles were significantly higher in patients with hepatitis flares when compared with those with stable biochemical activities, as seen in this study published in Journal of Viral Hepatitis in 2007 with a p-value of less than 0.001. Now, to conclude, significant fibrosis, that is a stage F more than 2, is a hallmark of progressive liver injury and a critical point to apply therapeutic modalities. Transient elastography is not an excellent tool to diagnose this stage alone. However, taking in account other clinical or diagnostic results, it can help for directing management decisions. The disadvantages of transient elastography is absence of large control group for assessment of limit of normal liver stiffness measure values. And most of the studies presented with area under the curve as a measure of test performance, which has its own limitations. Presently, no specific guidelines available for its applicability, but probably will be widely adapted soon. Results always must be interpreted in the context of clinical epidemiological scenario of the patient. Now, what are good in this is that the patient, it has excellent patient acceptability, it is non-invasive, it is promising non-invasive tool, and it is likely that this modality in combination with other non-invasive will change the management algorithms in coming future. Thank you.